That windshield has to be cleaned, but it continues to drizzle, so I'll do it later. The weather didn't change much from when I came to Lipno, you saw my previous video, although it's warmer today, and I took a short trip to the city of České Budějovice in Czechia at around 50 kilometers from Lipno. I already knew that there are interesting places to see, but I made some additional research and it turned out that there is also a rich history dating back to the 13th century, when the city was founded, although there were some ancient settlements as early as 19th century before Christ. Anyway, the official foundation of České Budějovice was in 1265 by King Otakar II. Supposedly, a royal castle probably existed, or rather should have existed, in the city for a short time. Another interesting thing is that here in České Budějovice, in the same year, the king wrote also the official foundation document of the monastery in Melk. The city of České Budějovice was mentioned for the first time precisely in this document under the name of Budweis. Along the centuries, the name of the city changed several times before acquiring its current name. Because here was a relatively large population of German-speaking people for centuries, it is interesting to mention that the German name of the city is Böhmisch Budweis, or simply Budweis. So you probably can guess where is the origin of the renowned beer Budweiser. As for the history, well, as it was common in the Middle Ages, it's full of wars, changing of rulers, time of prosperity, of decline, then of prosperity again, and of course of construction of buildings, some of them you'll see. For now, I leave you to enjoy this street, the Česká Street, one of the several other through which you can access the old town, which is even today the city center. I couldn't miss to visit the Gothic church of the Sacrifice of the Virgin Mary, located on Pieristic Square, founded at the same time as the city in 1265. The interesting thing about it is that in spite of the numerous rebuildings through the years of the church and the cloister, the Gothic style is preserved with only small Baroque elements added. The chapel of St. George, together with the monastery's library, were the only parts of the whole monastery which were not damaged during the fire in 1381. And here is the main square named after the founder of České Budějovice, King Otakar II. Many of the ancient buildings around it are preserved, and in the center of the square is the Fountain of Samson. You can see some ongoing preparations of the square for this year's Easter. Another renowned landmark I couldn't miss in the city is the Black Tower, just next to the main cathedral. The tower was built in the 16th century with the idea to serve as a watchtower and signal tower, a bell tower, and, last but not least, as a symbol of the city's wealth. Due to the unfavorable hydrogeological conditions in the soil, it has to be reinforced with oak piles before laying the foundations. It is said that the designation of the tower is related to another great fire in České Budějovice, this one in 1641, during which the surface of the stone blocks was blackened. In the 17th century, an indicator of the moon's phases, a so-called small astronomical clock, was added under the dial you see. It takes the form of a sphere with a diameter of 60 centimeters, half of which is painted gold, the other black. It was broken down in 1892 and was not put into operation until 1985. And the view from above is great. I still regret that the weather was not sunny for the pleasure to be complete. Nevertheless, I decided to wander a little bit more in the streets of this cozy city, which harbors the University of South Bohemia and is the capital of the region. And back to the main square, I cross it again to find with my friends something to eat. You know, they say it's a good thing to do from time to time. And no, I won't show you the pleasure to have with the meal a glass of Budweiser, which, by the way, is the preferred beer of Bud Spencer, if you remember this actor from the recent past. And then to reach the park through one of the bridges of the Vltava river, from where I'll return to Lipno.
Ne, on musí říct toho týpka.
Forgot again to clean that windshield.